Hello crew, welcome back to another bullet journaling video. And the wind picks up again. Y'all should be used to that by now. So, as I told you guys in the last month's video, I set up, as part of keeping my anxiety in check from my husband's wreck, all of the rest of this year's bullet journal setups. Now, I got the spreads set up, but I didn't fill them in. So in this video, we are going to be filling them in together. I don't have anything carried over yet, and we'll sit and chit chat and have ourselves a nice little talk. And I can tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on monsoon wise. Let me tell you something. It is gorgeous. It has been utterly gorgeous. So stick around and I will catch you guys in the top down view in just a couple seconds. Welcome back everyone to another bullet journal kind of flip through. As you guys know, if you watched my previous bullet journal video, I set up a lot of my bullet journal spreads because it was what my anxiety was responding to. So we are going to actually be filling in together what I need to in my bullet journal, because I didn't fill the spreads in because I don't know what things I'm tracking from month to month in the habit tracker. And sometimes it can take some time to figure out. Sometimes I don't know until the end of the month. But July is my birthday month, and as you can see, one of my favorite things is purple and butterflies. So that is what we are talking about. That's what we're doing today. So mini calendar here on the front, and usually here on this space is where I'm keeping track of appointments for my husband and I. I'm keeping track of my astronomy events. In case it wasn't clear, I'm a little bit of an astronomy enthusiast. I absolutely love watching the full moon. I love sitting out on a new moon, because on the new moon I can see all of the stars. I have barely any light pollution here at Crane's Hearth, my homestead. And oh man, new moon nights, especially in the winter time, where the sun is setting like almost by 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Oh man, stargazing out here in the wintertime is just so wonderful. Now I need to zot over to here. And okay, so I need to explain real quick what's going on here with this particular page. This is my leftovers page. If you guys noticed it back in June, I nixed the meal planning because I wasn't really using it. It wasn't really working as well as having just hey, I made this dish, I made it on this date, and I need to focus on making sure it gets used up. And then right here is my section for things like vegetables, or reminding myself, hey, you pulled a whole chicken out on this day. You need to make sure that once it's thawed, you need to process it down into the breasts, the leg quarters, the wings, and turn them into meals alongside of whatever vegetables I have. And we are going to double check the projects list about what I need to carry over. And this is, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but this is the M24 from Jelly Roll. I like these Jelly Roll pens. I was not sure I was going to, and then I went ahead and jumped on grabbing one of the normal color packs, and then I grabbed a Moonlight color pack, and I fell in love. I fell in love with them. I have just not been in a mood to sew. Therefore, I am leaving it on my projects list to hopefully get at least one of those poor things done. They've been cut out for almost a year, and my will to sew just went out the window. Okay, so come the beginning of July, Dave and I will actually sit down and we'll go over the projects that we kind of want to try to focus on in July, and I'll break them down into an action step section and roll them over. So that's those 2 pages right there. And then, as you can see, these 2 pages are basically done. Crane's Hearth Creations is my little crochet shop. Link is down in the description. And this is for items that I am coming up with on my own for the shop, or custom orders that might come in. And even though I've got 5 sections here, I don't expect to use all 5 of them. I barely used all 5 over here. You guys can see my habit tracker for July is coming along quite nicely. Although you will note there are a few discrepancies and everything. But we've got the weather set up. Hopefully monsoon season does not fail us. It's been a little dry and crispy, and currently right now as it stands, as I'm filming this on June 23rd, Cochise County has 4 1,000 plus acre wildfires burning in different parts of the county. Ah yes, monsoon season, when everything dries out while we're waiting for the rain to come in. And here is part of where we do need to work on filling out, and that is my habit trackers. My sleep trackers are already ready to go. I need to fill in the weekly and the monthly. Now, you guys are probably curious as to why I keep track of some things like dishes. Well, that's actually pretty easy. I am very, very, very bad about keeping the dishes taken care of. It used to be very, very difficult for me to remember to do them because I had some issues attached to them from an ex. May he rot. And just keeping things clean is a lot easier when I've got it written down on one of my trackers so that I can keep up with it. So CLB, by the way, is clean the litter box. We try to compost everything here on the homestead because of how the soil is. It needs heavily amended. For those of you unfamiliar with American deserts, there's a high amount of calcium in clay, and it becomes basically this concrete after a good hard rain. So you have to amend the soil a lot with organic material, sand, and other things to help the soil actually be something other than nutritionally void. Sinzo, by the way, is our accidentally ours outdoor cat. She's either the descendant of one of our neighbor's outdoor cats or the only surviving kitten from a litter dumped. And she's very feral. She wants nothing to do with us humans. And if you check the vlog, which is going to be uploaded on this coming Tuesday, it will contain a story as to why Sinza's food bowl has been moved to the front porch. When I say I live in the high Sonoran Desert, my closest store that I can buy supplies at is a Family Dollar, and that's 15 minutes away. as my friends described it when they came for me and Dave's wedding ceremony back in April, we have reached nowhere and we are currently heading to the middle of it. Now, most of you out there probably couldn't be this rural. Me, I have never been happier. It is definitely something that you have to choose to want to be engaged in, because otherwise you will end up miserable, you will end up frustrated, you will end up bitter. And for those of you wondering about the journal underneath of the self-care tasks, that is because I gave myself the challenge. Originally it was going to be a 30-day challenge of journaling every day. Well, I decided on January 1st of this year, I was going to journal every single day, all year. I've only missed 4 to 5 to 6 days this year, so I'm doing pretty good on that regard. But I'm committed to it, and it's letting me work through a lot of notebooks that I would not necessarily use for bullet journaling, so that helps. All right, so that's set up. Now, some of you are probably wondering why it is in my bullet journal setup I don't have things like a media tracker or a mood tracker. And that is very, very simple. I do not find that the information that I get from mood tracking to be relevant. Like, it does not add anything to my life. It doesn't give me any kind of quality of life information. Mostly because my mood tends to be fairly steady. I mean, there are times where it's like, oh my God, hormones, what are you doing? But that's normal as you get older. I turned 38 in July, guys. 38. It always amuses me when some of the other bullet journalers are like, oh, I'm turning 25 this year. I'm turning 30. Oh, my sweet summer children, you have no idea what is heading your way. First of all, your 30s are going to be exquisite because there is just so much opportunity to get into trouble, to take chances, to get messy, make mistakes, and to learn. Ooh, might have channeled my inner Mrs. Frizzle there a little bit. But, you know, it's moods are going to be weird as I get older. Most of my female cousins and female family members, they all hit menopause in their mid-40s. So I'm probably not that far off. But I've also had a much less harsh life in terms of the supplements and multivitamins and food nutrition and the amount of food that I get that is actually nutritious. Well, that might extend when I go into menopause. We'll see. And you know, and also the media tracker. Well, that's pretty simple. I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV shows. I noticed 5 or 6 years ago that part of why I didn't have a lot of emotional stability was because I was watching shows and programs that were playing with my emotions. And for me, being emotionally stable is kind of important because that is what allows me to deal with emergencies that pop up, sometimes quite frequently on a homestead. And reaching that level of emotional calm was very important for me. As Joshy Curran likes to say, drink break, tink. So that's the reason why you don't see those in here. They just don't add anything to my bullet journal usage. Now, you will note in future months that I have the same spreads right now. I've got leftovers, I've got projects, I've got Crane's Earth Creations, I've got the weather, I've got my trackers, my sleep tracker, I've got Dave's list. For me, that's just about it for the spreads that I need in my bullet journal. They don't really change that much from month to month about what I need. And if I do need something, I almost always, I gotta work on that. I I almost always have a few spare pages in the back for any additional spreads that I might need, or I can use a tip-in or just a separate piece of paper that I leave in the front part of the month that lets me keep track of that. And most of the time, I only need to keep track of something that's not already covered by one of these spreads only for a couple of days, which means I can take care of that on the day. Now let me double check the list here real quick. And you guys will know I don't have a video page this July month. Because the vlogs are still kind of erratic. Did I include one in August? Sneak peek! Sneak peek! Not quite. But, well, odds and ends, actually. Odds and ends is where I'm going to be having the video tracker. And then notes, those are just going to be in general things that I observe for the month of July that I need to carry over into August. So let's get into double check. Okay, that's all going to be taken care of. It doesn't need carried over. So I have, for the month of July, full page dailies this month. Why full page dailies? As I have been experimenting with a slightly more traditionally aesthetic bullet journal with this particular bullet journal this year, I have been noticing what I prefer. And when it comes to what I prefer for my days, I definitely prefer to have a full page. I feel like I have all the room then that I need to write everything down, because you guys will also notice I don't have a key. I don't use the key that Ryder Kara has created. My key is usually just something very simple along the lines of, I have a thing I need to do. I have done the thing. I have checked it off. I don't really have events. I am probably one of the most homebody bullet journals out there. I have been in the 10 years that 12 years coming up in spring that I have been with my husband. He and I have been to exactly 2 concerts together. 2. That's it. I just don't enjoy it anymore. Like, when I was in my 20s, I did, but as I'm getting towards my 40s, it's okay to admit to myself that my tastes have changed. And if I'm going to go out, I want to go out to a bookstore. I want to go out to one of the local mom and pop tourist shops and see what they have and like little goodies and postcards and stuff that I can send to friends and family and things like that. So the dailies are so that I feel like I have enough room. And as you can see, I have decorated the heck out of them with butterflies. Butterflies and dragonflies are actually 2 of my favorite insects. And then odds and ends for the video tracking. And then I've got this for carrying over things. And I have notes right there. That's what this is. So for those of you who are curious as to why, let me hold it up, see if it stays focused. I have self, house, and homestead. That's because those are the 3 sections of my life that I need to track. Self is my self-care. That's taking care of myself. The house, homestead, all pretty obvious. And then having the weekly and the monthly tasks in their own sections helps me keep everything organized and in one place. But hopefully that explanation as to why I don't have some of those really popular spreads in my bullet journal, hopefully that makes more sense to you guys about why you don't see them in my bullet journal. I'm going to tuck that over there real quick. And then this is the journal that I am moving into for my long form journaling in July. This is just a little notebook that I saw on Amazon that I fell in love with. And let me show you guys the pages real quick. I don't think this particular one is still available anymore. It wasn't when I went looking for it a couple days here before filming. But, oh, I love these pages. There's just a lot of butterfly theme throughout it, which is why I got it. And it has a little bit of a Studio Ghibli vibe to it, I'm not gonna lie. But I haven't actually seen a lot of Studio Ghibli films. The one that I have seen a lot, which is my absolute favorite animated movie, and I'm looking forward to finding myself being comfortable to watch movies again, because it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I dearly love this movie, and that is Princess Mononoke. Oh, I love that movie. Love that movie. It is one of my favorite fantasy stories ever. I love that movie. If I could afford some of the paraphernalia from Princess Mononoke, I would have that on my walls. I can't because this is a no spend year. I love this particular page right here. And this one. Those two are two of my favorite pages. It's very, very, very magical and fantastical, and with July being my birthday month, I was like, I am going to give myself permission to have something fantastical. Come in. I think we're coming up on the repeat here soon. Yeah, and there we go. So yeah, this is the journal that I am long-form journaling in for July and probably a good chunk of August too. Depends on how many pages I end up inadvertently filling. But because of the way the pages are, I'm going to be using a lot of black ink. Come here. Come here. And most of the time, I'm probably going to be using a Pilot G207. See if I can. Here we go. These are a type of gel pen. They're very comfortable. They're very, very smooth to write with. I love writing with the Pilot G2s. I actually have the entire colored collection over here, over that way, in my stationery stand. I'm just gonna fill in these real quick. You guys will note that I don't ever use fonts, fancy fonts of any kind. I don't see a need for it in my journal. It doesn't serve any purpose for me. So I guess you could say that I have a slightly more practical sided journal. But the most fancy you'll see in terms of like any kind of like handwriting is like fake brush stroke and cursive. Fill in the calendar here real quick. If I just got one of those stupid songs stuck in your head because of I am sincerely sorry. Those songs were menaces. And there were a lot of different songs that were just not... Okay, hold on. How did I mess that up? Oh, I forgot 11. Crikey. Aye. Nope. Doot. It's a good thing I caught that. And yes, it looks gnarly now. You know what? I don't care. This is my long form journal. It does not have to be perfect. Do you know why it doesn't have to be perfect? Because the only person using it is me. And this is the only time you guys get to see my long form journals is when I'm getting them ready from when I'm going to move into them. Because I don't share that stuff. Because it doesn't make me comfortable. Ta-da! Yeah, that's everything that I had in my notes that I wanted to talk about while setting up the bullet journal. And that will be it for today's video, guys. As always, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Be sure to give your loved ones a very tight hug. Take care of yourself. And I will catch you guys in the next video, which should be a vlog. And then after that, who knows? I don't know anymore. My channel has descended into full-on chaos. I love you guys. Bye.